but we thought it'd be a really good idea to make one today because we had a really interesting morning. Do you want to explain to the peoples of the interwebs what we did today?
Yeah.
Not all of it, just some of it.
Yeah, so today was our monthly relationship meeting. So every month we aim to have a meeting where we just set out a few hours at least, or half a day, to really just go through what's working, what do we want to improve, what areas are we really not showing up in, what areas are we really showing up in, and yeah, we had our meeting today, and this is something that we want to talk about more. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, just let us know. Are you in a relationship? Are you looking to get in a relationship? What is it that you really want from us? And we can make more videos about it. But we did this relationship meeting today, and Mia's been saying for a while we should just tell you about what they are and how they work, because this is what came up from our relationship.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what the relationship meeting is, and then we'll tell you what came out of it for us this time.
So we've been doing this for quite a while now, and it's just for us to make each other a priority and to sit down and see where we're at that month. Have we struggled a bit with communication? Have we not made enough time for each other? And if it's not to punish each other or to get angry about things, it's how can we improve? So, for example, if we've been really busy with work and events, how can we prioritize and set time aside for each other in the upcoming month? So can we schedule in some dates there and then? Or can we have more tantra nights? Or can we do some more fun stuff together? Or is it just that I need you to be more supportive because it's going to be an intense month. I've got 15, 20 events in a month, and I need you to really just be a rock for me. So it's just communicating everything that's happening and celebrating our successes and our wins. And like just seeing how much deeper we've gone and how much more we've grown each month is so nice. Sometimes it's really triggering though. Sometimes it brings up a lot of stuff, and that just means once we did a 2-part relationship meeting. Each time was 6 hours, wasn't it? 6 hours. So in total we spent 12 hours, 2 consecutive days, just working on these triggers that came up as a result of this relationship meeting. And yeah, I just think it's really, really powerful. And I feel like most people in relationships should spend some time just going deep into what's working, what could be better, how could you show up more for your partner, and what have you improved on, or what is going really well? Because day to day sometimes it's easy to forget the little things, and this is an opportunity to just come together and just connect and go make it deep. Yes.
So if you've got some kind of paper, pen, something to take some notes with, I'm going to just give you what we do. And this was something that I channeled, so it's really, really powerful.
Yeah.
So here's how you work it. First off, you need to create a really safe container with each other where you agree that whatever is said, whatever comes up, it's between you two, it's in this sacred space, and you can be completely honest, completely open.
We call it a brain dump.
Openness and honesty is really, really important, and this is something that we have gotten so good at, is telling each other the things that you really don't want to say. So what are the things you really don't want to say to your partner right now? What are the things you really don't want to say to your friends? Because you can do this outside of a romantic relationship. What are the things you really don't want them to know? Because these are the secrets that fester, and they become these big things. These little things add up, right? And they become the big things. So create this space, sit down together and connect in some way. You must be connected. You can't both be in your heads. You have to be in your bodies. You have to be in your heart. And then make a list of your top 10 priorities. So your values are so important. So make a list. What are your top 10 priorities? So I'll read you mine. This is a vulnerability share. I'll share with you my top 10 priorities. And this is for mine and Mia's relationship. So my priorities are: first, honesty; second, trust; third, intimacy; fourth, physical touch; 5th, freedom/growth. 6th is excitement. 7th is sex. 8th is vulnerability. 9th is support. And 10th is positivity. So these are my top 10 values. These are the things that if these are in place, I'm going to feel good. I'm going to be topped up.
Do you want me to read out mine?
Sure.
So my top 10 priorities are, and you'll see some similarities and overlaps between mine and Luke's priorities.
We didn't see each other's lists.
No,
so
we
made
didn't.
them.
It was a nice surprise. So my first one is honesty. Second is trust. Third is physical touch / intimacy. Fourth is growth. Fifth is adventure and fun. Sixth is freedom. Seventh is security / safety / commitment. Eighth is supportiveness / cheerleader. Ninth is quality time, and 10th is family.
Wonderful. So what you do once you've got these lists, so we just shared with you something really personal, right? So you now know our top priorities. Now, a lot of these are the same in other relationships too. So if you want to get more connected with me, definitely you want to follow these priorities and we'll be great friends. And if these priorities resonate with you, then that's probably why you're watching these videos, because you've seen that through our communications, right? So once you've got your top 10 priorities, then you sit down and you score out of 10, where are you at with each thing? So score out of 10 where you're at with each thing. This means out of 10 now, with 10 being the completely 100% topped up and 1 being not at all, how do I feel the honesty level is in our relationship? So if it's an 8, that would be really, really good. If it's a 2, terrible honesty. And you do this for each of your 10 priorities, each of your 10 values. Now, this means you're going to get a score out of 100. Once you've got this score out of 100, this is just a benchmark for you to come back to. Next month, you do the same again. Next month, you do the same again. Next month, you do the same again. And you can just track where you're at. Each month, your intention should be just to increase the score by a little bit. So maybe you scored 65 out of 100 the first month. Next month, you want to get to 68. Next month, you want to get to 70. And every month, you just want to be improving the areas. And the way we do this is you just say, what are the things that would make you feel topped up? So I shared with her, what would make me feel more honest? So this one was to share more things around when you feel embarrassed or ashamed. That for me is really important. I don't just want to hear the good stuff. I want to hear what don't you want me to know, right? Like we talked about. Intimacy, what does that mean for me? That means more intense time together. I love spending a lot of time. I love when people come to my events again and again and again, because we really get to know each other. You know, if you only spend a little bit of time together, you don't get that deep relationship. And then do you just want to read a couple of yours?
So mine was, again, booking more one-on-one time together. So that means more holidays, weekends away, date nights, which is really important to me. And honesty. So I really believe that if you're only honest with people when things are going bad, like, oh, you need to improve on this, you need to work on this, then you're not an honest person. You need to be honest when things are going really good as well. And that is where the encouragement and the, not compliments, but just the appreciation and the encouragement comes in. Which is, if I'm honest with you, an area we struggled with in our relationship, because I didn't feel that from Luke for a while. So one of the things for me in terms of honesty was express more when things are good, and show more gratitude and appreciation. Don't take me for granted. Which is a very vulnerable thing for us to share, but it is what we had to work on a lot in our relationship.
Let me know if you've ever been in that situation where you spend so much time with someone, you just start to take them for granted. Yeah. And that's a horrible place to be. When you feel like someone doesn't see you and you feel like someone doesn't appreciate you, it's awful, especially when this is the love of your life, right? To feel like they don't even care is a very tricky place. So let me know. I'm sure I'm not the only person that has taken someone for granted. And this was a big big thing for me to work on, because we're all busy, right? We all have loads of stuff going on. We all have a million things, and we expect the person that we're in a relationship with to be there for us all the time, but they won't be. People get divorced, people leave, friendships dissolve, business relationships dissolve if you don't nurture them, if you don't water the plant, right? If you don't look after it and give it love. So yeah, that was a big one.
So yes, so we go down through our priorities, and we just basically feel into, after we've graded it and we've given a score out of 10, we both share our overall score. And then we talk about the areas that maybe didn't improve, or that went down, or the ones that improved, and just going really deep into what was it, how did I not show up as honest as I could be that made the score lower, or what did we not spend enough time together that meant that your quality time tank wasn't topped up. And it's not to make the other person wrong, it's not to punish them or to tell them off for it, it's to just have as the awareness, and so you can negotiate, discuss, and improve. Yeah.
So you made me call this the honest truth about our relationship. So what do you want to tell people? And then we'll wrap up. What do you want people to know? What's the honest truth?
The honest truth? Okay.
You've teased them. You've lured them in.
The honest truth about our relationship is that good relationships don't happen overnight. And good relationships don't happen by accident. Great, loving, honest relationships take time and nurturing. And it takes work. It takes commitment, and it takes patience. Because if you want something to last, you have to put the time in. You can't just build a business overnight. You know, you have to build it over time and nurture and grow it and stack on it and build it slowly. Same thing with relationships. I feel like a lot of the times people get into relationships, and once the honeymoon period wears off, they get freaked out. But that's when the real relationship really kicks in, don't you think? That's when the real relationship really starts, because that's when you put the work in. And so when we first met, our relationship was not like this. We were honest, but there was a level of self-preservation with the honesty. We were honest, but not too honest that we might get hurt. And we were speaking about this earlier on today, that we had to do a lot of work on going so deep into honesty about the things I don't know if anyone else shares with their partner, but it's like really intense stuff. But you have to be patient with your partner, and you have to be honest, and you have to be kind to them. We were together initially, and then we broke up for a little bit. We separated for about 5 months because we stopped being honest. We were honest, but not too honest. And we stopped appreciating each other. And I realized that the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. When you just stop caring about how your partner's day was, or when you don't care about how they're feeling or doing, that's really not a good place to be. When there is hatred and anger that you're feeling, that is still good because you can work through it. And in our relationship, we always say that if you're angry, feel angry. If you're sad, feel sad. If you are happy, feel happy. If you want to cry with tears of joy, cry tears of joy. But don't suppress those feelings and emotions, because they come up and bite you really fucking hard. But yeah, our relationship took a really long time to... It's not perfect. Do you want to tell our score, actually? That we scored...
Would anybody like to know our scores? Let us know.
Yeah.
We should like to know how our relationship has progressed since we've, for the last 5 times when we've taken these scores. Let me know.
Love them as you...
The truth, the honest truth about our relationship from my side just to make me sweat a little bit.
Say nice things. This is the truth about our relationship.
You know it's on camera, right? I now have filmed footage of you abusing me.
Filmed footage.
Yeah. You all saw that, right? You saw that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This monster that I had to put with.
You love to put up with me. Don't even lie. You love to put up with me. It's the best thing in your life. Putting up with me.
For me, the truth about our relationships is we have some really bad days.
Mm-hmm.
We have some days where we're not friends. And we have some days where we don't even like each other. We still love each other because love, real, true love, unconditional love, divine love, never goes away.
Yeah.
But we don't always like each other. And that's because one of us is showing up out of integrity. One of us isn't meeting these values. One of us has crossed a boundary. One of us has violated one of our priorities. And so we feel like the other person isn't really there for us. And it's not my responsibility to make Mia feel good, and it's not her responsibility to make me feel good. Only we can do that for ourselves. We have to fill up our own tanks as well.
Yeah.
And we have to let people know when they cross our boundaries. And for me, the most important thing is that for me to continue a relationship, we have to have more good days than bad days. Yeah. We have to have more days.
We said 80-20 rule, isn't it?
I don't know. We have to have more good days than bad days. That's a productive relationship. If we're just at each other's throats all the time and we don't like each other and we can't be in the same room together and it's not nice to be around, that's not going to fly. And so we have to either resolve it, we have to figure out what areas are we crossing the boundaries in, what can we put in place, what do we need to redefine the rules of our relationship, like what is it that we need to do to get back to love, to get back to alignment. And so I'll share with you our scores, how they kind of progressed over the last 5 times from my side. So the first time we did it, we got 68 out of 100. Pretty good, right? Pretty good.
It's like a C.
Second time we did it, we got 80 out of 100. Massive improvement in a month. And this was because we really worked on these priorities. The next month, now the thing is, when you're at an 80 out of 100, right, that's pretty good. That's everything was a 9 out of 10, an 8 out of 10, or a 7 out of 10.
Hello, Handy, I love you.
And so that was really, really good. We do a lot of deep work.
Yeah.
You must spend time. I really encourage you. This is so important. Open your ears. You must do your own deep inner work. And you must do work together too. You have to do...
Preach, baby, preach. That was good.
Guys, girls, go do your own stuff. Figure out yourself. Come back with your partner. Work on your stuff together. A relationship isn't two halves coming together. Whoever said that, it's nonsense, right? It should be two wholes coming together, and then you make this third energy that's just so much more powerful. So 80 out of 100 we were pretty good with. The next month, actually, we had a dip down to 75, so we dropped down 5 points. This one for me, we were going through some challenging things in our relationship that were triggering us a lot, and there was a lot of triggers going on. And so when you're triggered, you're not necessarily always in alignment with love. And I'd
say that was one of the toughest months in our relationship, actually, that I've experienced. But it was still at a 75. Or for Luke, for me, it was at a 71.
Yeah. So we had to work on these triggers, and you don't always like each other when you're doing that.
No, not at all.
Now, today's meeting.
Drum roll, please, Mr. Scott.
Today's meeting, we got our highest score ever, which was 88 from my side. And your side was a
82.
82. So we're in a really great place. We're getting married in 6 weeks. I'm going off on my stag do this weekend. So we've been spending a lot of time together. We've got this joint vision. You know, when you're a couple and you have a joint vision, when you have something you're like working on together, it really helps. And so we're building our Standout Speakers Academy business together. We're running a retreat in Portugal where we're both going to be there. That's all around the Academy of Conscious Sexuality, the pleasure and intimacy stuff. So if you want to learn how to have more amazing sex and how to build deep relationships, then let me know and I'll send you details about the Academy of Conscious Sexuality.
Yeah.
And we've also got the wedding, which is a joint project we're working on. So it's really pushed us, and we need to like learn all our dances and everything. Yeah. And we're in a nice place. So if you are in a rocky place right now, definitely try the relationship meeting. But also another thing we do is creating a joint vision. So sit down.
What did we call it? Joint visioning vortex, isn't it?
Yeah, joint visioning exercise. Create a joint vision. Find some stuff you can work on together. Figure out what projects you might do. It might be a hobby. It might be a business. It might be a sport. Whatever. Yeah, something that will make you both feel good. Mia.
Yes, my love.
Tell them something real and then we'll end because we've been talking for a long time.
Okay, interesting. A lot of people get into relationships because they are unhappy and because they think their partner is going to complete them, or that their partner is going to fill this void in them, and suddenly the world will be great again and they'll be happy. And I did that once and it didn't work. If you are unhappy and if you don't feel happy within yourself and you get into a relationship, that's just going to create more suffering. Your happiness is your responsibility, not your partner's responsibility. It's not Luke's job, even though he is so handsome and this face does make me happy some days. I'm so gross. It's not his job to make me happy. It's my job to make myself happy, but he makes me happier. He extends my happiness, and when I'm already happy, it has nothing to do with him. He just comes in the room and I start crying because I'm like, oh my God, I love you so much. But it's not your partner's job to make you happy. Focus on your happiness. Do what makes you happy. And when you come into that relationship, it'll be like Luke said, it's two wholes coming together. You don't need anyone else to complete you. Don't watch crappy romantic films about a prince saving you and about someone else completing you. You are your own knight in shining armor, and being in a relationship is incredible and one of the most beautiful things I've ever done, but it's not the be all or end all. And if you are in a relationship and you're unhappy, don't settle. For me, something I've really understood is how to be in a relationship and to compromise, but without settling. There's a difference between compromising and settling. What I've seen in a lot of relationships is that most people... Oh, what?
Just listening.
That most people settle, but it's okay to compromise. It's good to compromise, but not to settle on your values, on what you really want. And yeah, treat your partner with respect and just... Your worthiness does not come from a relationship. Yeah, your worthiness does not come from a relationship. Your worthiness comes from you.
Boom. There we go.
Should we read the comments quickly?
Let us know if that resonated with you. I am going to have to make a move because I'm running a conscious men's circle tonight and we way overran on what we said we were going to do.
I want to respond to the comments quickly.
No, babies. No time. Mia will get back to all your comments later.
I'm not running the men's circle.
Yeah.
Wait.
So send in...
Stop. Steve... Move your hands, mister. Steve Miller says... I was a little unsure about this live when I first started watching. However, such wise negative advice. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you. Well, now
See-
Mia's ego has been satisfied, and she knows people like us.
That's
We
it.
will end the video. Have an
Have a
amazing
wonderful
day.
day.
Lots of love.
Peace, love, and use rubber gloves.